Hello, my lovelies. How are you? Thank you so much for clicking here. I'm glad you're here. Thanks so much for giving me your attention today. Hey, guess what? It is 41 freaking degrees Fahrenheit in the central area of Canada, where is the most frozen tundra in the wintertime, and we are finally seeing spring in this Aries season, and I'm so grateful for it. So for those of you who are not into Fahrenheit, that is 5 degrees Celsius. It's practically heavy sweater, or maybe even shorts weather around here. So I'm so grateful for it. Where's the weather where you are? Thanks so much for clicking here. I am here to give you the energy for the next 7 days. I do call this a sneak peek for the week, but what week is it? That's up to you. When are you going to view this? You could view this in a year. You could view this in 3 weeks. And that means all of the sneak peeks that are in the archive, if you want to look for them, may have some information that might pertain to you now that didn't pertain to you back then. So, welcome here. I'm here to give you energy for the next 7 days. I have 12 decks to my left, and I'm going to read a little bit from all of them for every sign of the Zodiac. And then I'm going to mark everything down below. Listen, it's not going to be in the pinned comment. It's going to be in the description. And so in the description, I've put all the timings. If your device you're viewing on does not give you the chapters, which you can just view by scrolling this video, then please go to the description and pick your timing. Any timings that are put in the comments will be deleted. Because I picked those timings for a reason. So thank you so much for all of your help, but I really don't need the timings to be put in the comments because they are always in the description. So yeah, I'm going to read from these decks here, and I'm going to ask you to stop watching tarot just for your sun sign. Look, your sun signs are great, but they're just your personality. And what influences you as being a different Aries, Gemini, or Libra from anyone else is your moon and your rising sign. So get to know who you are. Your astrology is your blueprint. If you're here to learn anything, you want to learn what is in your soul and why that influences your sun sign, and what is in the rising and how people view you and how you view other people. So I'm going to ask you to stop watching tarot just for your sun sign and go out there and find a free natal chart. They are everywhere. And you will be able to find a sun, moon, and rising sign for you. Everything here, once you start to watch for all three, starts to make just a little more sense. Other than that, friends, I have private reads open. Look, I'm just a little machine here doing all the private reads and keeping up to date. So if you guys are ready to sign up for a private read, then please know private reads are open. I do private reads that are pre-recorded. I also do them live. I've got a couple live calls tonight. I'm so excited. I love those live calls. They're so fun. My pre-recorded readings begin at $25, y'all. It's very reasonable. It goes up from there. $25 read is back to you within 48 business hours, and everything else has its own timeline. So please take the link to Hipsy, which is in the pinned comment, which I leave under every video, and take that link to Hipsy and look at my pricing and my packages, even if you don't want to book. Maybe you just want to be nosy, and that's cool too. If you're interested in booking live with me, you do have to book according to my schedule, and you do have to pre-book those readings. And so when you do pre-book, you get between 5 and 75% off your reading, even if you're a returning client. So if you would like to speak to me live or in text or face-to-face in video, we can do that as well. Let's get to it. Aries. Holy crap, Aries. I'm just saying. April is the month. It's all going down, all of it. I think you're going to have 6 planets lined up like little soldiers in your sign. Whoo, shit's about to go down, maybe even sideways. Let's find out what's going on for the fire family. Aries, sun, moon, rising, Venus and Jupiter. Aries, you know, I got a lot of Aries in my chart. So let's see how this pans out for all of us. Find out what's going on for Aries in the next 7 days. Sun, moon, rising, Venus and Jupiter. There's about to be a lot of movement. There's about to be a lot of shit going down in April. Let's talk about Aries. Tell me what Aries is doing. There you go. You're ready. I'm going to say, come at me, bro. You're ready in your kinged up energy here. I'm ready. I'm on fire and looking into the future. Come at me, bro. That's what it looks like. Let's talk about the King of Wands. We've got the Magician. I love this because look, this is going to be the month. Happy April 2nd, 1st? Is it the 1st today? April 2nd today. Today is the full moon. Happy full moon. The Magician is telling me that you are going to realize in the month of April, friend, starting with this full moon in Libra, that you are the one in charge. The Magician tells me to tell you, look, you're in charge of your reality, and I think you're ready to go. I think you're ready to create whatever is yours. Whatever you see as a vision for yourself. You've got all the resources, you've got all the tools, friend. Now you just need to put your little fire self behind it and push it all forward. We've got the Four of Wands in the reverse. Look, this may break some foundations, and I feel like that's what's going to happen. You are going to break some foundations. I feel like you're the person who keeps everything in order for everybody else. And I feel like you're going to break some foundations. There might be family, friends, people who you usually celebrate with. Those people are going to be saying, like, is Aries okay? Just because you're stepping out of line. The line you usually toe, right? The line that you're usually walking in, you're stepping out of line. Because now you're going after your wishes, your hopes, your dreams, and your manifestations. Both cards of manifestation, right? And the star is hopeful energy as well. You know what I feel like the month of April is going to be for you? And I know I'm only reading for the next 7 days, but at least for the next 7 days, you are going to feel cracked open. Like, I feel like you're going to feel very vulnerable because I feel like your usual foundation is going to crumble. And that might mean friendships. That might mean family. That might be people who you would have called a soulmate. And I think it's because somebody here has just stepped into their kinged up energy, which tells me now you are not keeping under the surface all of the wisdom that you have. You're like, I have the wisdom, and now I'm going to create the things that I've been hoping for, but that means I'm going to have to break some foundations. The foundations everyone is used to you keeping stable, and you're like, nah, brah, I got to go. I got to go do my thing. It's my time. It is your time, Aries. We've got the Devil energy, very much so. We've got the Page of Wands, absolutely. Give me a sec here. And with a Queen of Swords. Oh, no. Look, I feel like you're just going to say it out loud. You're going to be honest with people about what your plan is for your future. Look, I don't care if you're married. I don't care if you're dating. I don't care if you're close to your family, brother, sister, mother, father, whatever. You are deciding, I can no longer wait for you guys and carry you as a foundation. I have to do the things I have to do. The Queen of Swords is liberating themselves, y'all. The Queen of Swords is standing up and saying, look, now y'all sit down. I got something to say. So I feel like you're now being so honest with yourself that it's oozing to the outside, that you are being honest with other people as well. I feel like you have a lot of exciting plans in coming up in the future. So things that possibly are sparking interest, making you excited, making you curious about the future. Look, the Queen is looking into the future, right? Making you seriously looking at the clarity, the honesty, and the truth of what you can actually do in the future and what is just simply a hope or a pipe dream. So I feel like the Devil energy is this. It feels like this Devil energy is, I don't want to be caught in someone else's web. I am no longer hanging out for the people who are codependent on me, the people who expect me to give them the answers. It's time for me to step away from all of that. I've taught them enough. The Queen of Swords is a great teacher. I've taught them enough, and now I've got to be honest with myself and with everybody else about me showing some vulnerability about what's coming up in the future and what I'm looking forward to. Look, the King of Wands is looking forward to the future. Ooh, man. I'm telling you. Everything's in your sign. For reals. Including Chiron. And Mars is about to show up. Mars loves your sign. It's going to break things down, right? Mars is destruction. It's like the blowing up of the path. I'm going to do what I'm here to do instead of what you expect of me. I feel like you, my friend, have been holding yourself back or holding the tower together with all your might because you didn't want to disappoint other people. But I'll tell you what's going to happen is when things begin to shift and everything falls apart, you're going to feel the most vulnerable that you felt in a long while. Because as you move forward with this Aries energy here, I feel like other people are going to say, fine, do it, but do it alone. And it's going to make you feel vulnerable, I feel. We've got the Four of Swords. Look, there's always a purpose for the Tower. And for me, ultimately, as a reader, I always come up against situations in the Tower when I see them in a reading. And the Tower clears away old debris, clears away old obstacles. And for this purpose, I feel the Tower is breaking down because the Tower is the illusion you've been holding together for a really long time. And I think there is some clarity that is needed here. Also some healing and clarity. It feels like healing of the mind. I feel like that's why the Tower is pushing forward, because you are busting through this energy of being blocked. Now, honestly, I don't feel like you've been blocking yourself. I feel like you've been not a people pleaser, because I never met an Aries that was, but I feel as though you feel obligation. So I feel the Tower here is here for you to, once the Tower shifts, or once this energy shifts, and it's going to be very shocking when it shows up, because it's going to be at a time you're going to be like, really, now is when that's happening, LC? And I think it's coming soon, friend. We've got 6 swords. Swords for me are days. Understand? I feel like 4, 6, 7. It's coming in the next 7 days, my friend. It feels like there is a shift coming in the next 7 days for you, and it feels like it gives you clarity about where you've had the blocks. I feel like you are about to remove some blocks here so you can charge forward. But look, you've got to walk straight through the Tower. You can see that the King of Wands here is looking directly at that Tower. I can't even, y'all. 8 of Cups. 8 of Cups. You are detaching, and there's the detached Queen. Look, I'm taking all the emotion out of it. There are things that I've got to get done, and the Tower's telling me I can no longer keep building this illusion. There are things that I need to take care of and things I need to do, even though it's going to make me feel vulnerable. Once my comfort zone, my regular 4 of Wands breaks down, once this familiar foundation breaks down, I'm going to have to move forward. I feel like you are ready, and that's why the Tower shows up, because you need to remove old obstacles and the illusion that everything was going the way you planned. It wasn't. I feel like you were doing the things that you should do to support your family, support your children, support your relationship, I feel like you're the support system. All right. I feel like this is no longer, my friend. I feel like you are detaching and starting to make decisions about things that are going to help you push forward. Tell me what the outcome is for Aries. We've got the Knight of Cups, we've got the High Priestess, and we've got the King of Pentacles. So I feel that you are listening to your intuition. You made these plans silently, and I feel like you thought no one was listening. But guess who's listening? The universe is listening, right? You were sending signals saying, you know what, I'm ready. I'm ready, I'm solid, I'm grounded, I'm ready for the abundance. I see the worth in moving forward. The Knight of Cups is here. I feel like with the Knight of Cups, it tells me this has been a long time coming, because the Knight of Cups is the one that falls in love with potential. It'll be fine. The situation will change. If I just wait long enough, the situation will change. The Knight of Cups is the one that meanders, right? Takes the detour, goes here and there. It's okay. Doesn't move as slowly as the Knight of Pentacles, but is following the path of emotion. I don't think you're in emotion anymore, friend. I feel like you are in absolute and complete fire. You are in your own king's shoes, at least in the next 7 days. Tell me what's coming up around the corner. We've got the Knight of Swords. Jeez. Tell you what, the Knight of Swords is telling me that you are going to just say it. If anybody challenges you, I feel like you're just going to say it, because this 4 and 2 of Swords tells me 6 swords. You're moving on. The way you've been living is way too chaotic. Whilst trying to hold your life together, you're holding everyone else's life together. And I feel like the Knight of Swords, look, when I see swords and fire come up together, that's a sharp tongue. That's like, get out of my way. I'm not doing this for you anymore. I gave you enough money and time and energy and effort. I'm not going to hang out here anymore. Ooh, boy. Aries, you're not playing. Look at this. I don't care what comes up. I don't care how scary it is. I don't care what's hiding in the dark. I'm closing this chapter. I'm going to give you the last few words and then I'm closing this chapter. The world tells me, though, that you have come to this place of a milestone in your life. The milestone is I'm closing the old chapter of being the person who holds something up for everyone else, and now it's time to get some for me. And it doesn't mean that you're just going to put everything else by the wayside. You're not going to break up your marriage or break up your relationships, but I feel like people are going to feel a certain type of way about you deciding to do something selfish. Look, Aries is about the self, and this is not selfish. This tells me that something is coming to a close. It's rounding out. The World card tells me you've come to the end of a life cycle, and it's time for you to move forward. Even though you don't know what's coming up, I think you're going to do it, because the moon is giving you illusion, right? The moon is giving you illusion, and what's here, breaking down the illusion. There it is, the Tower. You're going to be very clear on what is coming up soon. So we've got the Page of Pentacles. And the Page of Pentacles is something brand new, that is small, that is brand new. You're curious about it. And it is starting to materialize in the 3D. We've got the Strength card and the Hermit. You've been thinking about it a long time. And you've been holding yourself back. But it's time to make a decision in the 3D, Two of Pentacles. And not just in your head. Oh boy. Yikes. And double yikes. We've got Leo and Virgo on the bottom of the deck. We've got Cancer and Pisces, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo. Look, it took you a very long time to come to the place where you are finally just saying, no, that's not what's going on. You're correcting people and you're saying, no more. I'm just going to tell you exactly what's going on. We've got Gemini energy here. We've got Piscean energy, Aquarius, Scorpio, Gemini, and Aries. We've got Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini energy. Capricorn, more Aquarius energy. Leo, Sagittarius, Aries energy. We've got Piscean energy, more Pisces energy. All right. When everyone else sees you doing it, they're going to know that it's okay to do it. You're the leader, friend. Let's talk about you, Taurus. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Taurus. Tell me about my bull gang. How you friends doing? Tell me about Taurus. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Taurus. Tell me about Taurus in the next 7 days. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Taurus, we're starting with the Two of Cups. Why is that? We've got the Two of Pentacles. There's decision-making, reciprocal energy, and something you've been going back and forth on, or maybe somebody else. Who are we talking about here? Queen of Swords. When I put that card down, Charlie said decision has been made. It feels like you've been making a decision, right? We've got twos. Twos are always about decision. It's also about reciprocal energy, but the Two of Pentacles generally is something I've been wavering on. I've been in the wobble. I'm not sure how to materialize this in the 3D, but I don't want to offend anybody when I make the decision and this materializes, but the Queen of Swords says the decision is made. So I feel like the Queen of Swords energy is yours, Taurus. It feels like you are making a decision, something you've been wobbling on. I feel like there is a group of people, a soul tribe, people that you really love and enjoy being with here. And I feel as though this is a group of people that you have been celebrating with, or maybe this is your group of people that you go out and see when you're doing social things, right? I feel like you've deepened the bond with somebody, or maybe some of them, but not all of them. This here tells me that you've been wobbling about whether or not I should just make the decision, put up my boundaries, and cut someone out, or if I should keep going forward in clarity about the Three of Cups. Should I be observing more? I feel like the Queen of Swords is telling me that you are ready to make some sort of decision to put up a boundary as it pertains to the Three of Cups. It feels like a group of people who could be like your friend tribe. And it feels like what you're doing is specifically looking at who you've bonded with, who is giving you reciprocal emotional energy, and who is not. And the ones who are not, because not everybody's your friend. You've got a lot of acquaintances, Taurus. A lot of people like you because of your strength, because you walk tall, because you are dependable and loyal, but not everybody deserves your energy. So I feel like you are putting up some boundaries and cutting some people out. That's what it looks like here. Might be the influence of all the whole party of planets that are going to be going on in Aries. Tell me about the Nine of Swords. We've got the Nine of Swords. We've got the Page of Wands. And we've got the Hermit. So I think that you have been by yourself thinking about this. Taurus, I feel like this is a time for you where you're really truthfully understanding that you carry it all. That you carry it all, and when you need help from other people, they don't usually show up. And when everyone needs you, you're there in a second. I feel like the Page of Wands tells me that you're always the supporting role, that you're always there. Look, don't worry about it. I'll be there for you. I feel like you're not going to do that anymore. And I feel like that worries you just a little bit. I'm going to say with the Nine of Swords energy, it feels like a little bit of, I feel like it goes along with this Hermit energy, that as you go over the details, I feel like this energy that is coming up in the next 7 days has you really looking through your friendship lists, either the ones in your head or the ones online. And I feel like you are ready, as the Page of Wands is always ready. You are ready to cut people out at will. It feels like you are really looking over the relationships, friendships that you have, and it's time to take action. That's what the Page of Wands says. It's time to take action here. We've got the Seven of Pentacles. I feel like you've been putting this off, but I feel like lately you've been spending time alone in Hermit energy. It doesn't mean that you're not going out at all whatsoever, but I feel like it's a very contemplative energy of going over all the data that you've collected over time. And I feel like you're thinking about the people who've hurt you, the people who have left you stranded, the people who, even though you show up for them, never show up for you. And so I think that's why the Queen of Swords is here, to offer some truth and honesty about really who's with you and who's not maybe necessarily against you, but who doesn't really care if you're on the roadside, who really would stop to help you. We've got the Seven of Pentacles, which tells me this is a reassessment time for you, right? The Seven of Pentacles is about working hard, but it's also about reassessing where you want to put your time, efforts, and energy. And I feel like the Knight of Wands tells me that this decision-making process is coming up fast, because I think you have a handful of seeds, Taurus, and I think you're ready to throw your seeds of intention, and that means you have to be intentional as to where you are growing next. And so I feel like the Knight of Wands is telling me that it is time for you to do it, and do it now. Enough waiting, enough Pentacles. So the Eight of Pentacles is also a Virgo energy. You are in a very contemplative energy. You're looking at what you've been very carefully building here. Now, I think that all of this comes about here because you have been working on yourself. I think that you've been tirelessly working on yourself, and you know, this is a skill set or mastery, self-mastery, I feel. And I think that you have been you're going over details very carefully. You have an eye for detail. I feel like the Knight of Wands tells me that you got to be brave, because after a long period of time of letting things go on long enough, it's time for you to cut through the crap. Who's really your friend? Who's really the one who will show up for you at 3 a.m. when your car broke down? We've got the King of Wands. It's all about wisdom, Taurus. That's what it is. You've grown. You've come to a place of wisdom where you're now holding back your actions, I'm going to say. There's a decision here. I feel like you've been waiting at the crossroads, right? The King holds a wand, and so does the Knight of Wands. I feel like you've been at the crossroads. You have not yet actioned something here, but I feel like going forward here, you are going to be putting action behind it. I think you're going to control your fire, which means I don't think that you are going to necessarily blow people up. Do you know what I mean? I don't think you're just going to say, well, you didn't do this or that. I don't think you care. That's what the Hermit tells me. I don't think you care. I think you're just going over the details and making things right. And I feel like you are, because the Three of Cups is between the Queen of Swords and the King of Wands, I feel like through wisdom, you are finding where you need to put down your boundaries. That's what it looks like here. Tell me what's the outcome here for Taurus. We've got the Six of Wands. So Taurus, some people are going to call you egoic. Some people are going to say Taurus thinks they're too good for us. Whatever. Let them say what they're going to say, Taurus. It is what it is. What you're looking for really is victory after a hard period in your life. And that's what makes you do all this contemplation. The Six of Wands is about coming from the fight, coming from the war. Look, you've been through a hard cycle in your life, probably the last 8 years with that damn Uranus on your tail. For 8 years, and I feel like you are now saying, I don't really care. I don't care how you feel about the situation. This part of it is for me. I get to take the spotlight this time, and I'm making decisions to let myself be seen so the people that I am attracting are attracted to me. I'm no longer putting up with people just because they end up in my social circle. Not everybody's your friend, and I think you're realizing that. We've got the Ten of Cups. Yeah, who really makes you happy, Taurus? Who brings absolute joy to your life? I feel like people who feel like family, that you know would be there for you in a hot second if you needed them. And the rest of them, I feel like you're moving on from. Look, we have the Nine of Cups. I feel like this Eight of Pentacles, the self-mastery bit that you've been doing here, has given you wisdom. Wisdom to know that you need to put action behind whatever plan you've put in place because you've been contemplating it and reassessing the situation for too long. This is the situation. It feels like the Two of Cups is, I'm going to start giving direct support to people who directly support me. And it doesn't mean that's everybody in my social group because not everybody's my friend. And I think that's what the Queen of Swords is here to make you realize, to liberate yourself from this group of people and figure out where your decision making needs to be. So I feel like the Nine of Cups tells me, well, I'm just going to live my life being happy on the inside and the outside. The Nine of Cups tells me, look, you can be happy with or without people around you. And you don't need external validation anymore. And that's why you don't care about this soul tribe, because not everybody in the soul tribe is your friend, right? Tell me what's around the corner for Taurus, please. We've got the Magician. We've got the Page of Swords. Absolutely. I love this Magician energy showing up because not only are you the manifestor, Taurus, but you're realizing that you're the one that's in control, literally in control of creating your reality. And so the Page of Swords here is saying, look, I'm just going to observe you from a distance. And the Queen of Swords isn't the one that goes out in a blaze of glory. The Queen of Swords is the one that plants her sword in the sand and just backs away from the boundary quietly. And if you approach the Queen, because she's an attractor, she attracts what she is. If you approach the Queen and say, hey, how come you didn't invite me to that party? That's when she's just going to be honest. Look, you're not my friend. You just show up when the party is here. You show up when the food and the water, the food and the liquor is flowing. Otherwise, I don't hear from you. You're not my friend. You're my acquaintance. The Queen of Swords is going to liberate herself. Oh, look at that. We've got the Queen of Wands here. So not only do you have wisdom, but you have independence. I feel like you don't give two shits, Taurus, about who thinks you're making good decisions and who thinks you are not. Because the Queen of Swords doesn't give a damn. Because the truth doesn't care what you think. The truth is the truth. Whether it's through your eyes or someone else's. They might not agree with your truth. That's why general readings work, by the way. Not everybody has the same truth. And then we have Judgment in the reverse. Look. Queen of Swords is here. Queen of Swords is saying, look, I'm making decisions for my life. And the Queen of Swords with the Judgment card in the reverse right here tells me a lot of people are going to misunderstand you. They're going to misjudge you. Let them. You've already looked over the situation. You've already made decisions. You've got all the aces in your hand, and not everybody's going to go where you're going to go. So it's time to bust out of the Eight of Swords, time to bust out of the Four of Cups, which is the place where you've been stuck for a while in your comfort zone. The comfort zone is not ruffling anybody's feathers. And the Queen of Swords isn't going to ruffle feathers. She's just going to be honest and truthful. But I feel like you feel that there is, I feel like you're about to reject the people who are like, no, I can't. No, sorry, I can't. No, sorry, I can't. Five of Swords tells me that some of those people are going to be mad. I don't care. I don't think you care either. Let's find out what's going on here. We've got Virgo and Pisces. We've got Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, Virgo, more Sag. We've got Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. Aries energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Pisces, Virgo. More Pisces energy, Cancer, Capricorn, and more Cancer energy. Taurus. I think some of that Aries energy might be in your chart. me about Gemini. How you doing, Gemmies? Thank you so much for being here and watching. This is for the next 7 days for you, Gemini. Not just for sun signs. Moon, rising, Venus, and Jupiter as well. Tell me about Gemini. Look, Gemini, are you ready? Because Uranus is about to enter your sign at the end of April. I'll tell you what. It's been in my sign in Taurus for the last 8 years. And it's been a little bit hellish, but got shit done. Tell you what. All right, here we go. We are here. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. We've got the Ten of Wands. We've got the Eight of Swords. Ah, interesting. Eight of Swords. And we've got the Six of Pentacles. Look, I feel like you have been carrying around financial debt that has been worrying you like crazy. I feel like some of it could be due to you buying things for other people, paying for the dinner, taking people out. I feel like you're an overgiver, Gemini, and it feels like you are now going over the books, reconciling how much money you've spent in the month. It feels like you've been carrying some sort of financial burden. This tells me that possibly you may have lent somebody money who is not paying you back. So I feel like you've been carrying around a financial material burden for someone, maybe a group. I'm just saying, like maybe you're the one that always puts everything on your credit card. Yeah, let's go out to Vegas for a weekend, and everybody's like, okay, well, we'll all pay you. Put it on your card. And I feel like people aren't paying you. It feels like that kind of situation. I feel like you are going over the details. You've got the facts. You've got your eye on them. And I think that you're looking at things in a way that is very factual. I think that you're no longer giving free rides here. Nope. We've got the Eight of Cups, friend. You are going to be speaking to people in a very detached way about what they're doing. These are people you know really well and for a long time, because we got the Six of Cups here. Tell me about the Queen of Pentacles. Look, I think that you are the one that's probably the person who, maybe you're not completely wealthy. Well, wealthy and rich are two different things, but I think that you have a lot of material wealth, a lot of room on the credit card. It feels like you're now worried about your foundation or money. I don't think it's going to implode your foundation, understand, but I think that you've been giving reciprocal energy to people who are not, like you've been overgiving to people who are not giving you back as much as you give them. And I think it is financial, because I think you're carrying some sort of financial burden. All right, something here is changing. Wheel of Fortune showed up and said, look, it's time to take care of it. You can't avoid it any longer, because when the Wheel of Fortune shows up, it literally says now's the time. And something has to change for you financially, because I feel like you feel overburdened by some sort of burdened by some sort of financial thing. Destiny is here, but so is expansion. So I feel like you are now expanding your view and saying, no, I can't carry this for people anymore. It's been weeks and they haven't paid me back. It doesn't have to be that particular situation, but it could be time, effort, energy, money. You could be giving health advice, whatever it is. People are not showing up for you, because look, there's 3 on one side and 2 on the other, and you've got the other one in your hand, and you're like, I'm not giving any more until somebody matches me. Pentacle for pentacle. Because there is a time to keep score, especially when you are the one that is at a deficit, right? We've got the Queen of Swords. Very interesting here, because the Queen of Swords here is it's telling me here it's time for change. It's time to set boundaries. It's time to liberate yourself from some sort of situation that must change, and you haven't been changing it. Now look, I feel like the reason you haven't been changing it is because 8 and 1 sword is 9. The worry is people aren't going to like what I say. People are going to be mad at me. People are going to be pissed off. And I think when the Queen of Swords shows up, she's like, look, the truth is the truth, and I don't give a crap if you like the truth. The truth is, you owe it to me. You said you'd pay it to me. I need that. I need to pay off my credit card, so you need to give that to me. It feels like you are cutting the ties that bind you to people financially or materially. Maybe you have someone living in your house who's not picking up the bills like they should. This could be a partnership. This could be a marriage. Feels like you're doing more than they are. So whatever it is, I feel like you're doing more than they are because they see you as the one who's solid and grounded and can do all that stuff. So I think that the devil showing up here behind the Queen of Swords is telling me that I am cutting the ties that bind me, and I don't care what they are. I'm just cutting the ties that bind me. No more codependency here. I am not giving you everything you've asked for because something here has to change. We've got the 10 of Pentacles. So I do feel like you are the one in the group of friends, or maybe it's only 2 or 3 friends, and they all say to you, well, look, you've got a lot of money. Like, can't you just wait on it? Meanwhile, you're racking up debt. Meanwhile, you're carrying around financial debt in order for your friends to be able to live their best life. So I feel like what you're doing now is you're looking into the future. You're planning for the future. You might be planning for your old age. Whatever it is, it feels like you're planning your financial future. And it looks like you have to cut ties with people who are codependent on you financially. That could be adult children for all I know here. We've got the Strength card. Yeah, you're holding back on being the one with all the money and the ideas and the details and the planner, and you're taking care of everyone else. The 10 of Pentacles ultimately is Virgo energy, and Virgo is the one who is the caretaker. I'm going to take care of you, and don't worry, yeah, I'll put it on. Let's the 4 of us go, and don't worry about it. I'll put it all on my Amex, and then you guys can just pay me. I'll pay me back. I feel like what you're doing is you're holding back, finding the courage to hold back and not doing that for people anymore. And it's not that you can't afford it. It's that you're the one that ends up carrying the financial burden, chasing people who are not giving you reciprocal energy, who are not answering your texts and your phone calls. We've got the moon energy here. And the moon energy is things are not as they seemed. You trusted them. And I feel like now you don't know how to get back your, get things back in order or in balance financially here. I feel like you trusted them. The moon says things aren't as they seem. So I feel like you probably held back from saying anything, hoping that people would make right, and they didn't. Look, these are people who are attached to you by the heart space. That's what it feels like. These are people you love. These are really close family or friends or people you really love. And I feel like people are hiding from you. Things hide in the moon energy. It was an illusion. They never intended to pay you back in the time frame that you had agreed on. So some of you may not even get paid back at all. But it feels like here that these people who are attached to you emotionally, they could be family members. These people actually do have the money to pay you back, but they're just not doing it. And it feels like they're hiding from you, not answering calls, not answering texts, not answering emails. What's the outcome? We've got the 6 of Swords. We've got the 9 of Cups. You're going to have to move to a calmer place. You're going to have to get out of this chaos of the mind, because I feel like you wind yourself up. In chaos of the mind, I feel like what you want is to be happy. And I feel like your happiness, this I don't think has any bearing on your happiness per se. But I think that it puts up some boundaries between you and people that you thought you could trust. We've got the Queen of Cups. Yeah, there you are. Compassionate, kind, loving, overgiving, allowing people just to show up with a straw and suck you dry in terms of how much you give. People take advantage of that. So when the Queen of Cups is by herself, she's always, or himself, always at risk of being emotionally depleted. So I think that this Queen of Pentacles has shown up to say, look, yes, you can be kind and compassionate, but it has to be metered. You can't be the overgiver. You've got to take care of yourself and drink first before you give to everybody else. Tell me what's around the corner for Gemini. We've got the 5 of Wands. There's a battle here. What's the battle? It also feels like somebody here is holding back, or there's indecision about something. The 8 of Wands, how to proceed forward. You know what it is I feel like you don't want to seem aggressive. You don't want to seem aggressive, but I think that these people are hiding from you, not giving you what you need, not answering the phone. And now that they've spent all the money or had all the fun, they're trying to manage their money, and they're not paying you what you initially shelled out for them. 3 of Swords is in the reverse. I don't think you're taking offense to it. I think that you are with the 5 of Wands. I feel like you are reserving judgment. I don't think you want to fight, but you are battling yourself Like, the thing is with the Three of Swords in the reverse, maybe you're dealing with somebody who's just healing from something. Maybe they were hurt, had a lot of hospital bills. Maybe they were someone who had a breakup. Maybe someone passed away in their family. It feels like you're dealing with somebody who's going through a hard time or is in a place of healing. And so you don't know how to move forward. You don't want to be aggressive. The Eight of Wands is kind of aggressive energy. You don't know how to deal with this right now. King of Cups. So I feel like the way you will deal with it is you will keep it under wraps for a little bit. You will give this person as much emotional reciprocity as you can, and you'll wait for them to heal or whatever's going on with them, and then you will have this reunion and we'll talk about this. The Magician is here. So you possibly might be letting go of this person or some of these people, the ones that are taking advantage of you, because you are in the midst of creation. You're in the midst of creating your reality, creating your future. The Ten of Pentacles is here. And I feel like you're excited about it, but you realize you're carrying some dead weight. It's time to release something. People are betraying you because of your kindness. They are betraying you. Look, you don't gotta be nice, but you gotta be kind. And I think that you will be kind because the Queen of Cups is here. But make no mistake about it, you don't have to be nice. We've got the King of Cups, who's Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. We've got Libra energy here and Sagittarian energy. We got Cancer and Pisces, Leo. We've got Virgo energy, Taurus. We've got more Leo energy, Capricorn, Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo with Sagittarian energy tells me your life can't expand until you take hold of this, holding down or burdened with financial things, material things. So we've got Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn here with more Sagittarian energy. And we've got more air energy. All right. Let's talk about Cancer. Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Cancer. For the next 7 days, Cancer, not just sun signs, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter here for the next 7 days. Tell me about Cancer. Tell me about Cancer. We've got the Knight of Cups. We've got the Seven of Swords. We've got the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. It's like a standoff, an emotional standoff is what it feels like. Seven of Swords is something you're keeping concealed under the surface. And I think that the reason you're keeping your feelings concealed about something, it doesn't have to be romantic things. It could just be emotional things, but it could be romance, depending on what your lens is today. It feels like the Six of Pentacles is telling me, until this person shows me reciprocal energy or shows me that they like me or gives me some sort of feeling about something, then I'm keeping it to myself. I feel like you want to tell somebody how you feel about a subject or a certain thing or a situation, or maybe feeling romantically, but I feel like somebody here is not quite in the place where they're giving you the signals that they're ready to receive whatever it is you're giving out. I think that this is the clarity that you've come to, Cancer. So the Ace of Swords is here and you do want to talk. This is, for me, the card of the talk. So I feel like you do want to talk. You do want to have some clarity, give some clarity. But as long as somebody here is not necessarily giving you reciprocal energy, I don't think you're ready to say anything. Tell me why the Knight of Cups is here. We've got the Four of Swords. We've got the World card. I think you're going to wait until the healing is done, until you come to this milestone healing. Maybe that's why it could be why you're keeping it under the surface and why you're not saying it first, because you couldn't bear to have this argument or fight or difference of opinion, right? We got 5 swords here. It's also fundamental differences. I feel like you're scared to bring it up because you don't know how this person feels and you don't want to be rejected. So you want to be clear about what you're going to do next and what the outcome is before you do it. The 8 of Swords is here. So it tells me you've got yourself in a mental prison. I think that's coming to an end, or the World card wouldn't have shown up. And I think this will be part of the milestone for you when you gain this stability of the mind and you do some healing emotionally, possibly, or of the mind. It feels like the reason you haven't shown this person your affection, your feelings, or how you feel about a subject that you've been approaching with them is because they're not giving you any indication that they are interested in talking about the subject matter, or that they aren't interested, like they haven't really been showing you any affection, emotional tie, anything like that. And you want to be clear on that before you even move forward. We've got the 7 of Pentacles. The reassessment phase is here, and you're sort of looking at, where do I want to put my intentions? Because I feel like your intentions are good. 7 of Pentacles tells me that you're willing to throw new seeds, plant new seeds. You're willing to work really hard at something here. But I feel like it's taken you a very long time to realize that this person has not yet shown you any of the emotions that you have shown them. We talked about the Ace and the 4, which is 5 swords. And then the 5 swords comes up saying, yep, you're absolutely right. So the thing is that the 5 and the 5 are 10. I feel like you're on the verge of saying, fuck this shit. I'm not waiting around anymore. This person is not, I feel like, it feels like somebody here, I don't see the 6 of Pentacles. Nobody here is giving you reciprocal energy. It feels like you really want to say something, but you're reassessing. You're in a reassessment phase right now because you're reassessing how you feel about the situation. I do feel that you're going slow because you don't want to hit that place where we may have an argument about what's what. Maybe there's topics that you have not yet approached, and that's really important when you're ready to get into an emotionally connected relationship. So I think that you are concealing how you feel about them because they haven't said anything. Page of Swords is here. I think right now what you're going to do is you're going to observe. You're going to observe them, and you're going to say certain things, right? You'll use certain verbiage to see how they react. You're very someone who is very observant, I'll say, and 6 swords. And I think based on whatever you say and however they react is going to tell you whether you are moving away, because this seems very chaotic in the mind. So we've got the Page of Swords and the 5 of Swords, which is 6 over here. And I feel like you're taking your time because you're trying to come to an answer or understanding within yourself without asking this person as to whether this is really worth your time, because it feels like the observation part of it, right? Reading their face, reading their eyes, reading how they say something or how they move when you mention something clear, honest, and truthful. So I feel like you are reassessing the situation and figuring out whether you move away from them, or whether you move toward them, because the 7 of Pentacles and the Knight are both facing toward the Knight of Cups. All right. I think you're trying to be brave, but I don't think you're out there trying to get your heart smashed. What's the outcome here for Cancer? We've got the Queen of Wands. That to me always is an indication of independence or a big, bold move. Somebody who's just going to do it because I'm used to walking through the fire. I've had my heart smashed before. We've got the 9 of Swords, but you still are worried about making the bold move because you might have to bounce back. You might have to be resilient because you might get your heart broken. We have the 5 of Wands in the reverse. So I feel like the 5 of Wands in the reverse is telling me that you are going to stop battling yourself. You're going to... the 5 of Wands is, I feel like you're going to stop being hard on yourself. Stop going around and round and round with this thing in your mind, because when the 8 of Swords is here with the World card is ending something, coming to the end of this overthinking process. The 9 of Swords being here tells me that it is time for you to stop worrying and stop battling yourself in the head, and decide whether you're going to say something or not. And if you're not, then it's time to... it's time for you to move on, I would say. Tell me what's around the corner. We've got the Judgment card. There we go. The universe is saying, now is the time. It's time for you to decide what is going on here. You know what it is I feel like you don't want to deal with a vulnerability hangover, because I feel like saying something emotional to somebody here is going to crack you wide open. It's way too vulnerable for you. The Judgment card tells me that you've had the chance to say something before, but you decide to go with the Page of Swords energy, which is, I'm just going to wait and see what how I'm going to observe them after I say what I say. And you know, I've never met a Cancer who wasn't intuitively smart, and for sure. And I feel like this Judgment card here is telling me this situation has come to you before. You've had the chance to say something before, but I feel like the not wanting to get your heart smashed, of course, is something that I feel you're not looking forward to. But I feel that you think making a decision, or the Judgment card here, is just going to be way too vulnerable. We've got the Ace of Cups. Yeah, your heart's on your sleeve, friend. And you just don't want to get your heart smashed. We've got the Six of Wands. So, Lovers is here. Ooh, Hanged Man is here. Empress is here. Oh my gosh, Wheel of Fortune's here. Look, it's all in the bottom of the deck. What's coming in the future is change. I feel like you have to get a perspective on the Empress. I feel like you got to get a read on the Empress. I feel like you have deep feelings for the Empress, or you feel some kind of way about making a choice about the Six of Wands, about putting yourself out there underneath the sun. That's Leo energy, right? With everybody watching, like it feels very vulnerable to me. And so something's got to change here, because I feel like you've been stuck in this pause, or in this stasis here for quite some time, waiting for the universe to come. Universe is showing up. Things are going to move forward. Things are going to change and expand. So whether this is a yes or a no from them, whether you say something or not, I feel like you are moving forward regardless. You may move forward keeping your feelings under the surface. I'm just going to say that's Chariot energy. And we've got the Page. Some of you might be surprised of the Five of Cups, that if you don't say something, if you keep it under the surface, that you may regret it. But I feel Three of Wands tells me, fine, I'll just move into the future. I don't really need this sort of, it feels like it's weighing heavy on you, is what it feels like, making some sort of decision. Should I just spring it on them or not? Got Cancer, got Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, and Sagittarian energy. We've got Taurus and Libra, Pisces. We've got Gemini energy and Leo. We've got Virgo energy, Aquarian energy, more Virgo. We've got Virgo and Pisces. Look, you're going over lots of details and pulling in lots of information, going over the statistics and the values, and do I really want this? And that's all Virgo energy. Doesn't miss a damn thing, Virgo, right? The World card is Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, and Leo. We've got Taurian energy here. Yeah, Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries, which tells me that you're going to make a big, bold move. Either you're going to say something, or you're just going to move on quietly. Right, Leo. Tell me about Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. How you doing, Fire family? Let's find out what's going on for you, Leo. I think you have a good rest of the year coming up, friend. Tell me about Leo. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter for the next 7 days. Tell me about Leo. We've got the Ace of Wands in the reverse. Why is that? Oh, I just heard because I have no energy. Eight of Pentacles. You've been working a lot, working too much. You might be burning the candle at both ends. Maybe school and work, learning something, trying to pick up a specialty. It feels like, you know, if you're a nurse, maybe you want to be a nurse practitioner. So maybe you're working as a nurse and you want to be a nurse practitioner. It feels like you're trying to upgrade or show your skills or be a subject matter expert at something, and I think you're running out of steam here. We've got the Ten of Wands. Yeah, it does feel like there is something here that has been weighing heavy on you or burdening you. It could be financial. It could be financial debt for some of you. it could be, am I good enough? Because the Eight of Pentacles is Virgo energy, and Virgo, when they're unhealed, can be very hard on themselves. I feel like the fact that you don't have energy for anything else except this Eight of Pentacles, which could be self-mastery, working, sleeping, like working and doing something else, like maybe learning something to be the subject matter expert here. We have the Ace of Cups. I feel like you don't have time for dating or love or relationship. You could be in a relationship already, but it feels like what's weighing heavy on you is you do not have energy for anything else, is what it looks like, Leo, because you're spending all of your time in this Eight of Pentacles energy, which is working hard on something to produce a detailed outcome, something that is going to fit into your self-mastery as you being the subject matter expert. Tell me about this Ace of Wands in the reverse. Yeah, you're running low on fumes, friend. I feel like you've slowed down, moving slow, reassessing. What am I going to do with this? I feel like somebody here might have a relationship, whether you're married or dating or whatever it is, and it feels like you don't have any energy for that. And so it feels like you're looking at, look, I got to slow down. I feel like you're resilient. I feel like your energy will bounce back. But I also feel that at this time that you are really overextended. Yeah. It feels like this Empress energy, right? I feel like you're in a situation where you're doing everything alone. Whether you are the man or the woman, the feminine or the masculine leaning energy, I feel like you are a person who's doing everything alone. You might be a single parent and you might be going to school, plus you're working. Like it feels like you're doing everything and it's becoming heavy. So I feel like you realize you've got to reassess your situation and slow down a little bit with all of the ways that you're engaging with things in your external life. The Queen of Wands is telling me I really got to put some energy into making a bold move. You're checking in with your High Priestess energy. I don't think the thing is Leo, you never ask for help. That's what this feels like. It feels like you look good sitting there on your horse, right? You look good. You've got it all together. And that's sort of what you portray to everybody. Don't worry about it. I can be the mother. I can be the father. I can do the grocery shopping. I can do school. I can do work. You're doing it all, and you're doing it all alone, and you're looking good while you do it. But I think that you are coming to this place of exhaustion where you're going to eventually have to relieve yourself of something. I feel like there's too much on your plate right now. And there's one thing that you're really focused on. And I think that is a little bit of a burden here, that you're focused on one thing. The Fool is in the reverse. Why is that? The Moon is here. Okay. So it feels like you're not making any moves forward. The reason that you're doing this is because you feel like, I don't know what the outcome is. Is it going to be worth my time? Is it going to be worth my energy? It's kind of like budgeting, right? And if we're talking about money, it's like when you have very little money, you have to pay attention to every single cent. When you have a little bit more money, maybe you're good with your finances, but you don't necessarily have to worry about buying the Starbucks on a Tuesday, right? But I feel like you're in this place here where you feel as though if I do give all of my time, effort, and energy to other people, that what falls in then? So I feel like the Moon is a little bit of fear of the illusion that you can hold it all up. Things are not as they seem, friend. With the Fool in the reverse, you don't want to be seen as a fool, so you're stepping in line with everything, carrying it all, doing it all. I feel like this Fool in the reverse, pardon me, the reverse energy is, yeah, it almost feels like, look, you got to ask somebody for help here, because the Fool in the reverse is acting a fool. And with it being snuggled up here to the High Priestess tells me a fool would never say, I'm in peril, I need help. So look, I'm not calling you a fool, but what I'm saying is you got to ask for help. Tell me about the Moon here. Look, and the help might not be from people around you. It might not be from your parents. It might not be from your friends. Maybe it's from your children. Maybe it's like, look, you take care of putting away the groceries. You unload the dishwasher. Like maybe you're just doing it all and not asking anybody for help. We've got the King of Wands. It's telling me you need wisdom, friend. You will come to the wisdom that there is somebody out there who is just like you, somebody in your life who I feel is just like you, and you don't realize that they're in the same sort of position you are because you're not asking for help. And so someone else is out there not asking for help. It feels like it's two people who mirror each other. So I think that you have a friend or someone who's already in your life that you're keeping quiet from, you're not saying anything, but I think you're about to receive some sort of wisdom, and that is you're about to either meet somebody who's doing the same thing as you, who you can lean on a little bit and they can lean on you because you're two people who never asked for help, or this is somebody who might be in your life already. Tell me more. We've got the Seven of Swords. Yeah, look, you keep silent. You don't tell anybody anything. You think you're getting away with looking great, but I feel like the Fool in the reverse tells me don't be foolish. Don't be foolish, because staying silent is exactly what makes you resilient. But look, the Ten of Wands is something's got to give. You've got to release something. So if this is your focus, then this is going to fail. And if this is your focus, this could be interrupted. I feel like you feel as though you don't have an opportunity to make a clear decision, so you just hide it all and do it all. And I feel like this is time for reassessment, friend. I feel like somebody's coming into your life who is mirroring you, who is like you, and I feel like you'll be able to count on that person. Tell me what the outcome is. We do have the Ace of Pentacles. We have the Strength card. Somebody here is going to offer you money, time, effort, energy. They're going to offer you time, money, effort, energy because they do see that you are somebody who holds back from asking for help, but you are also someone who's very courageous and will do it all on your own. I feel like you do it to tame the inner lion. I feel like you have to hold back because if you let that lion go, it's going to be a bloodbath. That's what it feels like here. So you just don't say anything. Got the Chariot energy here. So it feels like, yeah, you are keeping something under the surface. Chariot energy is Cancer. Cancer always keeps it under the surface until they're really ready to show it. You're somebody who keeps your feelings about something underneath the surface, and you really do want to move forward, but I think it's going to take a big reassessment, Leo. I'm just saying. I think you can carry it all without it falling in, but I think that the moon is telling me that's an illusion. Tell me what's around the corner. We've got the Six of Wands. We've got the Hermit energy. And we've got the Queen of Swords. So I feel like you are going through some sort of a dark night of the soul where everything I feel feels dark. So you are running on fumes, trying to be resilient, doing everything for everyone, and not asking anyone for help. I feel like the Queen of Swords is going to help liberate you from this Hermit energy, where you're being silent, not saying anything. I feel like you have all the details, you have all the data, you know what's going on. You're the hardest on yourself. That's what the Hermit tells me, that you're constantly reassessing yourself, that you feel like you're not enough. And so I feel like the Queen of Swords shows up to liberate you from this situation and give you a little more balance in your life, because the Queen of Swords is facing the King of Wands. And to me, this is a person who's just like you, who is somebody that maybe you don't know is going through this because they're silent as well. And I feel like somebody here is going to show up to help you. Six of Wands tells me it comes out into the sunlight, and you come out of this dark night of the soul and you get some sort of victory or success. The Queen of Swords is the one who's being honest and truthful and going to say something, but also is keeping boundaries. You're not going to say it all, but I think you will say something. Two of Cups is in the reverse. I don't think that this is a romantic connection. I think this is a person with a lot of energy, a person who is very actionary, like they know how to action things to get things off your plate. It feels like this person has a lot of wisdom, and it feels like this is somebody who you've either been disconnected from or that you don't know just yet. But the Two of Cups tells me this is probably not a romantic connection, but this is somebody who I feel mirrors you and is going to teach you how to carry it all, but also give little pieces, bits and pieces to other people. This person might say, yeah, I'm doing that, but you know what really relieved me a bit is I got the kids doing chores. Or what really relieved me a bit is I started telling my mom, look, I can only come visit you on Wednesdays. I can't visit you Monday to Friday every day. Like, you've got to give something up because something here is about to crack, I would say. We've got Virgo energy and Cancer. We've got Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. We've got Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. Cancer and Pisces and Virgo and Aries. We've got we've got Leo energy, Sagittarian and Piscean energy, Cancer, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, more Leo, more Virgo energy. Right, all right. Here we go. Speaking of Virgo, how are you, Virgo? Also here to do your reading for the next 7 days-ish, whenever you get this. It's not just for sun sign, it's for sun, moon, rising, Venus, and Jupiter signs. Let's find out what's going on in the next 7 days for you, Virgo. Tell me about Virgo, please. What's going on for Virgo? We've got the Queen of Swords. Look, the Queen of Swords has been hanging around these readings today. There's going to be many people who are liberating themselves from situations. Why? Because all of these planets over the month of April are going to be lining up in Aries. And Aries is about get over there and do it. I'm just going to do it. I feel like there's going to be a lot of people liberating themselves from situations that don't work. And also saying what they need to say kindly. You can see she's playing a harp. But I'm going to say it anyway. We've got the King of Pentacles. Be very honest about my material wealth, my time, my effort, my energy, and where I'm putting those things. It feels like somebody here is being very honest or truthful with themselves about where they're at financially, or with their stability, or with their loyalty. It feels like somebody here is going to be creating boundaries here. We've got the Nine of Wands. I feel like you're burnt out, friend. Virgo, I feel... If there's anyone who's burnt out, Virgo, it's you. You never stop thinking. You never stop going over details. You don't miss a damn thing, and you're always in service of others. Like, how exhausting is that? Like, it feels like a little bit exhausting. The King of Pentacles tells me that you have a lot on your plate. You support a lot of people. You're very helpful. You're overgiving. I feel like the Queen of Swords is saying, look, friend, you got to liberate yourself from that situation because it's becoming really heavy. Because you're not telling everybody. You're not telling anybody, in fact. You just keep doing and taking and giving and doing and taking and giving. So I feel like you are taking from the self, be clear. When I say taking, I think you're taking from the self and you're giving to other people. And I think that you are somebody who is probably people see you as very strong, very independent, somebody who has a lot of material wealth or a lot of time, effort, or energy on their hands. And so people probably come to you because they know you're never going to say no. But the Ace of Swords is in the reverse. I think it's probably time to stop answering every text, every phone call. Look, I tell you what, I'm not saying it's just you, Virgo, it's everybody. But I don't know how many times I've sat in a restaurant and watched people, even though they have people at their table, they're on their damn phone. And so I feel like you're like, I'm going to get off my phone. I'm going to notice the trees. I'm going to notice the sun. I'm going to notice things. Like, it feels like I got to stop answering every single text when it shows up because you've created codependency or are about to create it. Tell me why the Queen of Swords is here. We've got the Hermit. Yeah, going over all of that. That's your energy, right? That is Virgo energy. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. And we've got the Seven of Wands in the reverse. It feels like you're about to have a conversation with somebody about this particular situation. The Hermit here tells me that you've been going over some details, not only about you, but about things in your life and how you are spending your time, effort, energy, and money. The Queen of Pentacles is here. I think that there is somebody here in your life who is quite self-sufficient. But also, I feel like this person is waiting to do things for you, dote on you, help you with something. And I feel like you're not saying if you need help or not. I feel like you just keep doing all the things that you're doing. It feels like with the Seven of Wands in the reverse, you have to learn to be a little more flexible and not so standoffish when it comes to people inquiring about how you are. I feel like you're somebody who's like, I'm fine. But how about you? Tell me about all the things going on about you. You know what I mean? And I don't think everything's fine. I feel like you're just not saying it because the Ace of Swords is in the reverse. I want to say that you don't really have complete clarity on why you are so exhausted or burnt out. And you might think, oh gosh, what if I'm sick? Oh gosh, what if I don't think it's that. I think you're just burnt out because I feel like when you're not watching people, looking at details, checking over the details, being hard on yourself, telling yourself you're not enough, that I could be doing more. Queen of Pentacles is here doting on everyone. I feel like it's time for you to stop doing all of that. The Queen of Swords is here saying, look, it's time to be honest and truthful about the situation and liberate yourself from it. The Queen of Swords is Libra. And so she is now bringing things back into form, or restoring the truth, and telling people, no, sorry, I can't do that. Instead of saying, giving a bunch of reasons why, it's just no, period. That's it. That's the full sentence. It feels like you've got to stop because you are exhausted. We've got the Page of Pentacles, but you're always taking on new projects, friend. You're always like, oh yeah, I'll help you with that. Oh yeah, I'll help you with this. The Eight of Pentacles is here, and then you end up putting yourself back into this place where you work really hard. Now, the question is this, Virgo. Are you doing it because you're trying to stay ahead of your head shit, is what I'm going to ask you. Is there something here that you're not being truthful or honest with yourself about, that you're avoiding thinking about? And the only way to do that is to stay busy, busy, busy. Eight of Pentacles. So I think that's something that you should look at. Are you trying to stay ahead of your head shit? Is that why you keep helping everybody? That's why you have no boundaries. The Seven of Wands is here. Why you don't stand up for yourself? We've got the Four of Pentacles. So I feel as though you're holding on to work or working hard and being there for everybody because it gives you confidence, or it makes you feel confident, stable, or sturdy. I feel because you are doing well in your life, like maybe, you know, I mean, there's always people who are doing better than you, but I feel like you're in a place in your life where you're confident, you're good, your health is good, and you feel like you owe it to other people. So I feel like you hold so tightly to this Eight of Pentacles about having to be perfect at everything. And I feel like it just ends up cluttering your plate. And I feel like you keep giving away all of your time, effort, your energy, and your money because you feel as though you're doing better than most of the people you know, so you're obligated to do things for other people, which is not untrue, but when it goes to an extreme, then you become depleted, you become burnt out. Something has got to give here. We've got the Moon energy. So the illusion is that you can keep up this pace, that you can keep holding on to doing all the overtime, or saying, yep, I'll take the overtime, or starting the new project, or doing this at work and then putting in time for a side hustle, or maybe you are doing work in school. Eight of Pentacles is like you're trying to be perfect at something, but look, it's all an illusion. Things are not as they seem, and the Moon says, like, you don't really know what a problem you might be creating here. The Knight of Pentacles is here. You need to reassess, friend. You need to move slower, reassess the situation, and figure out where the holes in the boat are, or it's going to start leaking. Let's find out what the outcome is for Virgo. We've got the Empress energy. Oh, but Elsie, I'm the Empress. I can do it all. Absolutely. Yes, you can do it all, but it doesn't mean that you should. Even the Empress needs to have a staycation, relax, stop answering the phone, turn off the lights at night so people driving by can't see that you're awake. We've got the Six of Wands here. And we've got the Star. So I feel like you are a person who's probably engaged in a lot of humanitarian stuff. Maybe you're a volunteer. Maybe that you do that along with your job. It feels like somebody here is hopeful that that people will see you as somebody who is upstanding and takes care of themselves. And while I take care of myself, I can take care of everyone else too. So I think this is a persona that you're putting out. It doesn't mean that you're not the Empress. I'm just saying. You could be financially well off, very independent, somebody who speaks their mind. I feel like usually when I have the Empress and the Queen of Swords on the table at the same time, it tells me that the last queen that you must master is liberating yourself from the situation you've caused by allowing people to be codependent on you for their energy, time, efforts, right? So I feel like it's time for you to get into better balance in your life by coming out of this dark night of the soul. I feel like you've had a dark night of the soul, and that might be why you're giving everything to everyone, because you know what it feels like to have nothing. And, well, I mean, you're just a helpful soul anyway, but the Empress energy is here. And I feel like you feel because you have a lot of material wealth, or that you have a lot of stability, that you should be giving it away to others. But look, you can only be of help to others if you are keeping some of that stability for yourself. We got the King of Cups. Yeah, you're keeping something under the surface here. The Ten of Pentacles is here. And we've got the Ace of Pentacles. I feel like you need to invest in your future, friend. That's what it says here. The Ace of Pentacles, the investment. The future is the Ten of Pentacles. Your time, effort, energy, and money needs to be given back to you. I feel like you're giving it away. And so you need to be more mindful about investing in your future. In your future, like, look, pentacles are not just money. They're also time, effort, and energy, but they're also health. So maybe you need to invest better in your health instead of giving it all away. The King of Cups tells me that I'm just going to be stoic on the surface. I'm going to keep it all under the surface. I'm not going to tell anybody what's going on here. Then the King of Swords is going to show up and kick your ass. That's what's going to happen. This King of Swords is going to show up, and eventually you're just going to have enough. And you're going to just start hurting people's feelings. Why are you coming to me for that? I helped you with that last month. Like, it feels like you move from the King of Swords, or from the Queen of Swords, who is understanding and has a little bit of a softer delivery, to the King of Swords, who is, nah, brah, you're not doing this again. What the hell are you doing with your money that I gave you, your time, your efforts? What are you doing with that? Why do you keep coming to me? It feels like you stop being kind and caring like you usually are. But look, we got the Six of Swords. I think you've had enough. I feel like you're going to hit a break point, and it's because of the Nine of Wands. You're going to hit a break point, and when you do, you're going to come out swinging like the King of Swords. Wait a second, I'm hearing a song. That's why I stopped for a second. Keep your land, honey. Keep your king. Keep your castle, keep your king, because I got fire in a goddamn swing. Who's that? Oh, that's, yeah. That's, I think her name is Charlotte Rae. Anyway, the song is called Fuck Being a Princess. I'd rather be a witch. That's what it is. All right, anyway, so we've got Aquarius. Oh, there's a hard energy, Aquarius, right? Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini energy. You've got Virgo, Pisces, Cancer, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. We've got Sagittarian energy, and Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer, Virgo energy, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, more Aquarius energy, Taurus, and Libra. You need better balance, friend, in your own life if you expect to keep helping other people. All right. Excuse me. I think I've already got my my allergies are acting up. I'm not complaining. Look, I love the spring. I'm not complaining at all. Let's find out what's going on for you, Libra. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Not just the sun signs, right? This is for the next 7 days, Libra. Let's find out what's going on with you. Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. We've got the Eight of Cups in the reverse. Just making sure the deck isn't in the reverse. We've got the Emperor. Oh, Libra. What's going on here? We've got the High Priestess. Somebody's boomeranging, honey. Which means that somebody went out there, or somebody who's left your life, or somebody who detached is now on their way back. Got the Five of Cups. Oh, interesting. Okay, there was an ending here. Listen, I feel like somebody of influence, look, you could be called back to a job that you got laid off from. That's the first thing that I'm thinking here. You could be called back from a job you got laid off from. You could be called back from to the second interview. It feels like something that is being silent, and it has to do with the Emperor, unless the Emperor can be a romantic connection in your life for sure. But to me, this is father. This is somebody who is hiring people. This is the CEO. This is the person who owns the empire. It feels like something is silent, and I think that you feel, Libra, that something is about to show up, but the Five of Cups is telling me you're becoming impatient, or you feel as though this is got to be over, and it feels like regret. I regret I didn't get the job. I regret that I'm not connected with the emperor anymore. The emperor is someone who has influenced your life. So a person of influence, someone who could speak on your behalf to help you further along your career or your personal brand or whatever. But this person, I feel, is someone who has influenced you. I feel like you're not speaking to this person right now because there has been some type of an ending here. The World card indicates that this is something that I feel like an old chapter has closed. And I think that since the chapter is closed, since you stopped talking, or since maybe this is you disconnecting or walking away, or this person disconnected and walked away, that something has come to an end. And I feel like every once in a while you think about them, or you wished you could have had the job. I'm going to say that I don't think that this thing is over, because I feel like somebody's boomeranging. Whatever ended up walking away or detaching, whether that's you or somebody else, is about to come back. And you feel it, but you don't know it. And I think that's why you're in this Five of Cups energy, feeling in regret, because you're like, gosh, I wish it would come back. I think it's coming back. So if you went for a job, friend, and they ended up not hiring you, I feel like the person who they hired, it didn't work out, and I feel like they're coming back. You know what I mean? The Eight of Cups to me is somebody who is reattaching. Tell me about the Eight of Cups, please. Oh, the World card came back out again. We've got the Nine of Wands. And the Page of Pentacles. Look, I feel like you're going to get a message or what is this? Libra. You might be wanting to send a message or get a message. The Nine of Wands is here. It feels like someone is this close from contact. I don't know why I can't figure out whether it's you or not. But listen, I don't see any swords here. That's for sure. It could be somebody else then. It feels like the Page of Pentacles, but I could be reading from your point of view. You tell me what your lens is, right? The Page of Pentacles is a messenger in the 3D, which means this is not a phone call. This is not a text. This is somebody you're going to see face to face. So you could be seeing this person face to face soon. The person that you are regretful that things have fallen into silence with. This could be an employer. So maybe you haven't heard from an employer, but the Nine of Wands tells me round the corner, right? Nines are very close to the end of a cycle. And something here is going to, I feel like something here is the nines are essentially where you can drop the wands. You just need to wait for the 10 to the end of the cycle. And so I feel like the World card is here to say, look, drop the last wand. Like, what are you doing? There's no reason for you to feel sad about this, because things all show up in their time. And I think that something here is materializing. I feel like it's a message or something like that. Some sort of message is coming to you that's going to give you great clarity about why the Eight of Cups happened in the first place, about why somebody detached. The Sun is here. It's going to be revealed to you in great clarity as to why something here was detached. We could be talking about a job. But we do have the Nine of Pentacles. What's becoming clear, I think, abundantly clear, is that you had to do a leg of this race on your own. I'm going to say there's something you're working on that was a one-person job. It's like maybe you're the one that detached, because it was like, I got to really work on this. If I'm going to build my confidence doing what I'm doing, if I'm going to build my business, if I'm going to go back to school and learn something that is going to help me with my time, efforts, energy, or health, I feel like what you're going to realize that when you hear from this person again, that this was part of the plan. It feels like the Eight of Cups in the reverse was part of the plan. There was something here that no one else could help you with. In fact, if anyone else came along to try and help you with your growth, I think it would have stopped your growth, because I think you were supposed to go through something here alone. And it does feel like you were supposed to build it alone, learn it alone. You were supposed to have this glow up energy here. It feels like that's what's being revealed to you in great clarity. We have the Three of Cups in the reverse. So I feel like there was a breaking down of some social group, or the breaking down of a soul tribe, or maybe you stopped being social. That does account for the silence that happened. The Three of Cups in the reverse tells me that it was no fun anymore, or that you were overloaded with work, or you were building something or learning something or gaining clarity about, I need more confidence in playing the guitar, playing the piano. I always see you as the creative one. It doesn't have to be that, but I know just about every Libra I've ever known in my life has been a creator. So maybe you're creating something, which is creating confidence, creating wealth. So there's something here that this person could not help you with, and that's why you became disconnected. It's not because you disconnected. It's not because they detached. It feels like this is something that was supposed to happen. The chapter was supposed to close because there was a lot of things that you could not do with this person in your life. Tell me what the outcome is. This person was supposed to tell you no if this is a job. That's what made you work harder. You understand what I mean? Tell me what the outcome is, please, for Libra. We've got the Queen of Wands. We've got the Seven of Cups. It's going to be confusing, but someone is, I feel, going to reach out in a very bold way. Or you're planning on reaching out to someone else in a very bold way. Something that has been on pause. You know what? It does feel like work or a job, or maybe it's like you applied for, 400 jobs, and the 400th job is the one you really wanted, but you got job number 3 and you took it because you needed money. But it's maybe not paying you very well. I'm going to say that somebody here was still in perspective. So although you thought that it was the end, that was it, I'm just not getting the job, they were still in perspective. They were still going through candidates. It feels like what was confusing is I took a chance, I made a bold move, and it didn't pay off. Why did it go into a pause? So I don't know if this is a relationship for you or if this is a job, but it feels like it could be either one. It feels like there is going to be, I feel like the Seven of Cups is sort of illusion or overwhelm, and I feel like you couldn't see through the emotional part of it. This could be an emotional connection, or you're feeling very emotional about this thing, overwhelmed emotionally, in fact. The Hanged Man is about perspective, right? And realizing what I really do have to sacrifice in order to see something from a different perspective. So I do feel like something is going to move, I will say. Whether it feels like a bold move, so somebody either moves boldly toward you or you toward them. I feel like you will be getting some sort of notification about that with the Page of Pentacles being here. We've got the Eight of Pentacles. We've got the Star. And we've got the Queen of Cups. You know what I think? I think that this was meant to make you emotionally vulnerable. It feels like this thing ending, or the detachment thereof, was supposed to make you work on your emotional vulnerability. I feel like the person detached, if we're talking about a relationship, the person detached because you weren't vulnerable enough. You were very curated. Libra, you want to always keep everything in balance, and you want to keep restoration. You want to keep harmony, but sometimes that can equate to you being coming across as very surgical. So I feel that this detachment made you overly emotional, and it gave you perspective about maybe I just need to learn to be more emotionally available or more emotionally vulnerable with people here. The Star is about vulnerability, but it's also about hope, and it's also about healing. So it feels like you're healing that. The Ace of Pentacles tells me I have to make the move, or I have to put in more time, effort, energy, money, or I have to be the one who invests. So maybe somebody was trying to invest in you, but felt like you weren't being emotionally vulnerable, and the job required you to be emotionally vulnerable, but you came and curated. This could be the same thing for a relationship or a friendship. It seems like that. And what's being revealed to you is that you needed time away in order to build yourself up. And I think that that is translating into, now I see it. Now there really was no celebration because I was too curated. I couldn't enjoy the celebration because I was so worried about everybody and what they thought about me. We've got the Devil energy here, and the Six of Pentacles. So while you're all wrapped up in chains, everyone's trying to give you reciprocal energy, and I feel like it wasn't working because I feel like you felt chained to something. You felt like scared or felt like you weren't enough, or you felt like it would be codependent if you got close to somebody here. We do have the Six of Wands. That tells me that you are coming out of some sort of dark night of the soul. You are going to get some sort of victory or success in whatever it is that you're looking for. But I feel like this was a time that you were supposed to be alone without that person, not having this job. Things are supposed to be quiet, whatever it was. We've got the Emperor, and that is Aries energy. We've got Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, Aquarius. We've got Virgo energy and Taurus. We've got Leo. And yeah, the gong is here, right? So you're going to be notified somehow. We've got Scorpio energy and Pisces. More Pisces energy. Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo. The Hanged Man is Piscean energy. And then we have Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. Somebody moving forward boldly. Tell me about Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter from my sister sign. Tell me about Scorpio for the next 7 days. Tell me about Scorpio, please. Tell me about Scorpio. Tell me about Scorpio, please. We've got the Ace of Swords. Why is that here, Scorps? Got the Ace of Wands. Oh, somebody is taking steps forward here. I was just going to say the Magician. Feels like they're using your tools. It feels like there's tools here. It feels like you are taking action to possibly open conversation with someone, realizing you are the one that has to get off the couch, get off the sofa, and create your reality. That, you know, blessings are blessings, but unless you create the avenue by which the blessings can reach you. Charlie's showing my grandmother shoveling a walk. My grandmother was a person who believed that, you know, she was old Ukrainian, right? Older Ukrainian. And so she was of that thought pattern of, those of you who know what I'm talking about, you know, if you're of the Slavic traditions, is that before you left the house, you would sit for a minute, right? So everything could calm down, your energy could shift, you're ready to travel, and so you've got to be mindful, right? And so this feels like I'm watching her shovel the walk in her backyard, because she's like, well, if I don't shovel the walk, nothing could reach me, right? So my mail won't come in, and all. So that's what I think this is here. It's like you've realized that you've got to get up and shovel the walk, so there's a path toward you. So it's good that you know that you're in the Magician energy, I feel, but the Magician energy is one of action as well, because that's the Ace of Wands. You have to get up and use some of those aces here. There's something here you want to take action on. I think that you could be happier. Look, it feels like with the Ten of Cups, this is ultimate joy, right? This is ultimate joy, and I feel like you have the ability to create the reality of ultimate joy. Look, not everybody is blessed with this, because not very many people can see through all of the bullshit that's going on in the world right now. Some people are very consumed by it, and so they think because it's on TikTok and it's on YouTube and it's on, you know, all the stuff that scares you and worries you, that they're supposed to pay attention to that. But I think that what you're like, how can I make my life happier? How can I make my life more joyful? I feel like you are taking action on that, because you've realized that you know that you are the creator of your reality. I feel like this is a clarity, an aha moment, or an epiphany that you've had. But I also feel, because it's over the head of the Magician, it's like, okay, then I have to be the one to reach out and say something to someone. It could be that. Tell me about the Ace of Swords. Oh boy, the Judgment card. You're being called to do something that you didn't want to do, that you didn't want to put energy into, or you were waiting for that to come to you. So maybe you were manifesting it, saying, well, I'm not going to chase that person. They're going to come to me then. But really, the Magician energy is telling you that you've got to be what you want to attract. So I feel like you have to get up and start creating your reality. The Judgment card is calling you to say, look, it's time to make a change. I'm calling you to a task that keeps coming back. It keeps coming back to your awareness and saying, look, I'm still here. Do you want me now? Whatever this is, it could be a job, it could be money, it could be anything, it could be a relationship. But it feels like it keeps showing up and you keep ignoring it. The Ace of Swords tells me, are you going to say something this time? Are you going to have the awareness that it's actually here for you? And give it reciprocal energy, because that's all what the Magician is about. You can't just sit there and, fine, I'm just sitting on the sofa eating chips, watching my favorite show, and whatever I want is going to show up at my door. It's not the way it works. You have to put energy or action behind it, right? Got the Death card. So listen, it feels like here, Scorpio, that there's something that you want. You want ultimate joy or happiness. I want all 10 cups, Elsie. I'm not taking 8. I'm not taking 9. I understand. Yep. But you have to create it. You have to create your joy. I'm going to tell you this. If there was no price tag on it and you had all the effort, you had all the time, you had everything at your fingertips, what would you be doing? What would be creating you joy? I feel like if you give this thing, whatever it is, could be a relationship or whatever it is, if you give this thing reciprocal energy, 6 of Pentacles, I feel like it transforms everything. It changes everything, my friend, because the Judgment card is here. The Judgment card has been calling you and calling you and calling you. And I think now you're finally ready to answer and create the reality of joy. Tell me more about this. We've got the 9 of Cups. I just said you don't want the 9. But really the 9 is, you can't have the 10 until you get to the 9. Because you can't jump right from the 2 to the 10. That's not the way it goes. You have to go through the cycle, right? And so the 9 of Cups is, first you must become happy on your own. So that means I don't get into a relationship, because I always say to someone, so why are you married? Or why do you want a relationship if you're single? And that person usually says, because I want to be happy. Well, you're waiting for someone to bring you happiness. The universe is saying, get off your ass and find it. So the 9 of Cups is here saying you shouldn't really need external validation. You should be able to be happy on your own first, and then you will attract what you are. So I feel like you will attract joy, but you got to get up and find your own happiness first before somebody can bring you the 10th cup. Tell me more about the 9 of Cups. We've got the Knight of Swords. Somebody is going to bring you the 9th or the 10th cup. Tell me about the Knight of Swords. We've got the 9 of Pentacles. So here's the deal. I feel like you are at the edge of change because transformation is here. But listen, it's not magical. It's only here if you answer the call. If you answer the call, get the clarity, and decide you're going to say something, reach out, say it, do it, whatever it is, do it, say it, right? It feels like first you must find the confidence to speak your mind, to tell people, I don't need it. I'm already happy. I don't need it. And that's when it comes racing for you. That's when it comes aggressively at you. The 9 of Pentacles is here. You need to be self-sufficient. You need to be happy on the inside and the outside. You need to be able to do it on your own, build it by yourself, stay alone or single for a while. And it feels like that's when it starts charging at you. The happiness begins to charge at you. Yep, 8 of Wands. So it feels like it's look at that. The 8 of Wands is taking a shot at the 9 of Pentacles. I feel like you need to take a shot at either being single, being alone, building something by yourself. I'm not saying, like, maybe you're married. Maybe you're watching this and you're married. But I feel like there's something that you must do on your own. Whether it's take better care of your health, because Pentacles are not only money, they're time, effort, energy, money, health. You may have to grow in your health. You may have to take better care of yourself on the outside. And not give everything to everybody else. It feels like a glow up on the inside, the outside, practicality, money. Tell me what the outcome is. I feel like you're taking a shot, friend. Tell me what the outcome is. Ooh, boy, and then comes change. Change you didn't ask for, but change you worked towards, right? We've got the 6 of Wands, and it brings you to whatever you want. And that is how manifestation works. If I really want the 10 of Cups, I've got to create the reality that allows things to arrive that are going to be the Ten of Cups. So I have to allow things to arrive. If I'm going to manifest them, I've got to allow them to arrive. But first, I have to be what I want to attract. And I feel like you want to attract the Ten of Cups, so you're going to be the Nine of Cups. When you decide that you are wanting success, I feel like you are, this Nine of Pentacles tells me you're working your way out of the dark night of the soul. Everything is about to change, and I feel like the sun is about to come out. That's Leo energy, and you're about to get some sort of victory that you never expected you would get. But I feel like with the High Priestess here, that's something you feel. You feel something is coming because you are the psychic of the Zodiac, right? I think that you feel that some change is coming. There is a big change that's coming. It's expansion, in fact, because in another water sign, Cancer, Jupiter has gone direct, and it's bringing in a bunch of abundance. So as long as you talk the talk and walk the walk, and you are what you want to attract, I feel like the Wheel of Fortune says, yeah, let's move forward then. Let's move forward with that. Let's get you your victory, because you're the one who did all the work already. Tell me what the outcome is. I feel like some of you might have to reach out. If this is a relationship, you might have to reach out to the person and say, hey, I feel like you got to put some action behind this manifestation. Tell me what what's around the corner here for Scorpio is the Ten of Wands, is the Eight of Pentacles, and the Ten of Pentacles. Very interesting. So I feel between the Eight of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles is Two of Pentacles. And I feel like you need to make a decision, friend, to bring it into the 3D, out of the mind and into the 3D. I feel like you need to drop some sort of burden. It feels like you're entertaining yourself with things that are very important. It could be work, it could be school, it's like you're working really hard on yourself, self-mastery. You're working really hard, putting the time in to become an expert on something or to become perfect at something. I feel like you are building for your future, but there needs to be a decision here, which we don't see because we go 8 to the 10, but the 2 is in between. The decision is to drop some sort of burden. I think the burden you have to drop is perfection. It feels like you have to stop saying, okay, but if it's not going to be all 10 cups, then I don't need it. You can't go from 1 to 10. You got to follow the pattern. You've got to grow through the cycle, right? We've got the Ace of Pentacles. You have to put in the effort. So the Magician is here, and you know you have the tools. You have tools and the resources to create your reality. You've got to put the effort in, though. You've got to invest in your future. You've got to drop financial burden. You've got to drop putting everything else in front of the Ten of Cups. If you want the Ten of Cups, it's time for you to get the Ten of Cups, but you've got to invest in your future to do it. You've got to have good health. You've got to be confident. You've got to have good finances. You've got to be responsible and industrious and all of those things in order to be able to get what you want. And I think that the Four of Wands is part of what you want, which is celebratory stability, right? Or even, this is 11-11. Maybe it's the relationship or taking something to the next level. It's going to require you jumping out of your comfort zone. Yep, for sure. So it's time for you to detach from the things that you're wasting your time on. Maybe you're putting work in front of everything. And I'm not saying don't work hard, but I'm saying that, it's making an investment in your future means many things. You need to look at your life and where all the holes are in the boat before it starts leaking. Let's take a look at these signs here. Sagittarius and Taurus, Gemini, Virgo, Piscean energy, Gemini and Aries, Scorpio, Virgo, Pisces, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo. Look, expansion is already here. It's already coming. It's destiny is showing up here because the Six of Wands is here, coming back to the norm, coming back to expansion. But I think that for some of you, if this is relationship related, you may have to reach out to ignite the conversation, start the conversation. All right, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter for my fire family. Let's find out what's going on for you, Sag. This is not for sun signs only. This is for sun, moon, rising, Venus, and Jupiter for the next 7 days. Tell me about Sagittarius. Tell me about Sag. We've got the Ace of Pentacles. We've got the Four of Swords, being very clear on whatever it is that you want here. Somebody here has been healing finances. So I feel like you're somebody who's been maybe going through your finances with a fine-tooth comb. Figuring out what you can cut out, what you don't need. She's holding the Ace of Swords, right? What you can cut out, what you don't need, in order to be able to invest in something else. We've got the Five of Swords. 5 and 4 is 9. Somebody here is worried about investment or money, time, effort. Got the 6 of Cups. Bottom of the deck, we have the 9 of Wands. It feels like somebody here is burnt out. I feel like you're working too much and you feel like, where's all the money going? Like it feels like that. Sag, I feel like you're about to get great clarity on how to invest to make more money, or how to invest in your future. It feels like you are healing your finances. And I feel like this is something that you've had trouble with in the past. The Five of Swords is about arguing with the self, but it's also like the fundamental difference of, well, yeah, I know that maybe I'm not saving for my old age, but I want what I want right now, and I'm not ever going to change that, so don't ask me to. So I feel like this is something that comes from childhood or comes from the grow-up stage. It feels like it's a nostalgic feeling of somebody here has always gotten what they wanted because someone always gave it to them. So now they can't manage the finances. It feels like you're trying to heal the finances. You've come to a place where I've got to stop arguing with myself. I'm feeling burnt out from working too hard. Tell me about the Ace of Pentacles. I think you've been having a hard time with money. 5 of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles, and I feel like you've been worrying about it. 5 and 4 is 9. Got the Ace of Wands. We've got the 10. Yeah, you got to take action on something that is going to multiply your finances. There's something here that you need to release or let go of. And so it feels like you have to release or let go of something that you value, something. It's this. It feels like it's a training from long ago. I'm going to say it feels like maybe you had a really, really good job and 5 years ago, and maybe you lost that job 5 years ago, but you're still living like you had that job from 5 years ago. It feels like you have to learn how to invest and grow your finances, but you're going to have to find a way to put action behind that by releasing or relieving yourself of whatever you don't need. That is material wealth. So maybe, when you had that great job, you could afford the 16 pairs of Louis Vuitton and the Birkin bag, but now you are still living like that, but you don't have those finances. It feels like somebody here has been worrying about money, but it feels like there is something of material wealth that you need to release or let go of in order to be able to flourish. I feel like you will heal the finances. The 4 of Swords is here with the Ace of Pentacles. I feel like you have to change your mind about something, I'm just going to say, because it feels like this 6 of Cups is nostalgic energy, and I feel like you come from a time, whether that was 5 years ago or in your childhood, where if you just asked for it, you got it. Feels like you've got to make different decisions for the different situation that you're in. You might be starting back at the beginning, or like financially, you might be starting back at the beginning, but it's something that I feel you need to get a hold of right now. We've got the 2 of Cups. We've got the 7 of Wands. And we've got the 9 of Swords. Oh gosh, it feels like somebody's worried about standing up to someone else in their relationship. If this is you, it feels like you are at a crossroads in your relationship. Look, maybe the spending isn't yours. Maybe it's your spouse. Maybe somebody here, maybe you had a job that brought in 10 times or 9 times the amount of money that you're bringing in now, and your spouse is still spending the money like it's water. Somebody here needs to stand up for themselves and stop with the indecision. It's time to get away from the Two of Wands, which is, I have a plan, but I have not executed the plan. And we have the Nine of Swords telling me, because I'm worried about how this person is going to react. This person may just detach if I tell them, look, we've got to cut back. We've got to move into a smaller house. We've got to sell one of our 3 cars. It feels like somebody here is worrying that making the decision is going to impact a relationship, a long-term or a long-time relationship. I'm just saying, the devil is above the Two of Cups. Take that how you want it. The devil to me is release, and the Two of Cups could be a deepened bond with somebody. There's somebody here, whether it's a date, somebody you're dating, somebody you're married to, somebody you're living with. It feels like somebody here is possibly still spending money like water, and it's no longer available as water anymore. Yep, it's a comfort zone. I feel, Sagittarius, that you might have to get out of a comfort zone, even though it worries you. And I feel like you have to tell somebody what your plan is and stand up for yourself. But I feel like you think that this person will disconnect from you. They might detach. But guess what? If they were only there for the money, then guess what? And that's really not for you. Could even be friends, right? Six of Cups could be a friend group. It could be family. It could be people that feel like family. It could be somebody you've known for a very long time. It feels like this is, you feel like if you were to speak your truth, that you're going to be rejected. You're going to go to them with the budget and say, look, we got to action this budget. We can no longer spend like we're in the Ten of Pentacles because we're actually in the Ace of Pentacles. I have to learn how to watch every penny, be very perfect at it, practical with our money, because I'm starting again at the beginning. And you feel like somebody here is probably just going to say, well, see ya. Tell me about the outcome, please. We've got the Page of Wands. We've got the Fool in the reverse. And we've got the Nine of Wands. Look, that's 10 Wands. 10 Wands here, friend. I feel like you really are feeling very burdened and played for a fool. The Fool is in the reverse. To me, when the Fool is in the upright, it's exhilarating and fun and taking a leap. And I don't really know where this is going, but I'm ready for the challenge. When the Fool's in the reverse, it's foolish. I feel like it could be a child we're talking about. Maybe you got to cut up the credit cards you gave to the kids. It also feels like this, I don't want to feel foolish. I don't want to have to say it, but I'm exhausted. And it's time for me to drop this burden. So it feels like there is somebody here that you need to speak with, communicate with, and let them know, look, you can't play me for a fool anymore. And if you're going to reject me, well, it is what it is. But I feel like, you know, the devil and the Ten of Pentacles is giving me that somebody is overspending on bullshit. Somebody is, yeah, it's like I'm picturing this deck that I have, the Quantum Oracle, and there's a hand there, and the water is falling through the hands. It's like something is falling through your fingers, like it feels like water. Money is water. We've got the Hanged Man. We've got the High Priestess. Four of Pentacles. I feel like you've realized you can no longer hold back or be silent about this any longer. You're getting a perspective that you've got to sacrifice something, and it cannot be your livelihood. It feels like you've got to hold on or save money, and somebody here keeps spending. It does feel like it's or maybe it's, look, maybe someone's depleting your energy, time, effort, energy, money. Maybe your health isn't very good because you keep giving somebody everything and you're not keeping anything for yourself. It's time for you to release that. This seems to be something that's been going on for the long term, or maybe it's a long-term relationship. But it feels to me like you've been silent because you're in the Hanged Man energy, which is I'm trying to find the perspective, Elsie, of what I need to sacrifice. And it feels like I want to save money, or I want to hold back, but I know I can no longer be silent anymore about this. I've got the Knight. I've got to do it. Got to be brave, friend. Five of Wands is here. Got the Knight of Pentacles. The reassessment has to happen. It has to happen. And the Five of Wands is indecision. I don't want to have to reassess, slow down, stop spending, not giving them the opportunities that they want to have. Maybe they're going to have to put up, your child's going to have to put off school for a couple of years until you figure things out. But I feel like you've got to release this burden that you're carrying, the betrayal of finances or stability. Like, I feel like you're trying to keep everything stable. And somebody else here is not with the plan, not on your side. Somebody here is, you feel, might reject you or leave you if you tell them that the money has to be tight for a while. We've got Capricorn, we've got Sagittarius and Pisces. We've got Cancer, Pisces, Aries. We've got Capricorn, Virgo, and Aries. All right. Let's talk about Capricorn. Tell me about Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter for the next 7 days. Not just the sun signs, Cappies. All the rest of you too. Tell me what's going on with Capricorn, please. For the next 7 days, Capricorn. We've got the Six of Cups. Emotional nostalgia. Deep emotional nostalgia. The Seven of Swords is in the reverse. Yo, it's coming to the surface here. The Nine of Pentacles. You know what? I think you're confident enough for this to show up now. I feel like someone, something nostalgic, someone you've been thinking of. It feels like the Six of Cups is telling me that it is something that is in your memory bank already. It's deeply emotional for you, and I think it's about to resurface. I think the truth of something is coming out. Somebody was hiding their feelings, possibly, and the truth of something is coming out. The Nine of Pentacles is here. I feel like you're about to reveal to somebody some sort of deep emotional secret or feeling that you have. It could be a deep emotional secret. Look, it doesn't have to be romantic. There are many families who have skeletons in the closet, and somebody hasn't said something about uncle or about grandma or about, you know what I mean? Like, it feels like it could be something like that. I feel like you are confident enough, stable enough to deal with that now, but I think that when it comes to the surface, it is something that is going to be something that happened in the past, and it's going to make you deeply emotional, but it also is going to make you feel compassion for whatever the situation is. Tell me what the Six of Cups is. We've got the Moon. It was hiding. It definitely is something that didn't look as though it seemed. You know, there's all kinds of things crawling around in the history that maybe we didn't know about. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. That's you. There was an illusion here. I feel like something is going to be healed. There was an illusion here that you knew what was going on, but it's about to be revealed to you. It's like a secret is about to be revealed to you. Let's talk about what this secret could be. I feel like you're going to take it well because the Nine of Pentacles is here, and you're already well on your way to confidence and building something. You've built your life, you've built your confidence, reputation, whatever it is, but I feel like there's something that will be deeply emotional here. And emotionally sad. Oh boy, the Empress is in the reverse. All right. I'm just going to say, for some of you, not all of you, don't shoot the messenger. The Empress is in the reverse. And in this particular case, the Empress in the reverse is telling me that someone possibly had children but wasn't really a mother. The Five of Cups tells me that made them sad or regretful. Could be about a child. The Page of Wands is here. For somebody here, a secret's going to be revealed. I don't know, somebody was adopted, or a mother shows up that you haven't seen in forever. They show up sad. They show up regretful. I feel like it's deeply emotional. Oh, they might be showing up because you have money or stability. Doesn't have to be a mother, but the Empress is usually that. It doesn't have to be a mother. It could be a grandmother. It could be somebody who lost their abundance or lost their fortune. I think you will be a little bit shocked or excited to see them, Page of Wands, but I feel like this is going to rock you to your core. This doesn't have to be anything romantic, but it could be if that's your lens today. But it feels like with this Empress in the reverse, either somebody didn't see your worth and you proved your worth, and now that's why they're showing up, because you have money or fame or recognition, or people are seeing you for who you really are, and you've had a glow up and your life is great, and now you're a homeowner and all of that stuff. It feels like somebody here didn't see your worth, and that made you sad. They didn't see your worth as a child. They could have kept saying, look, you're going to add up to nothing. Now this person, I feel, is showing up deeply apologetic from your past. You're showing up as the Queen of Pentacles. You knew it was coming because the moon is here. You felt it. Got Temperance. Yep, something is shifting here in a moment of alchemy. Somebody's showing up to try and heal something with you. This is a person who I feel left. The Lovers is here. They chose to leave. This could be a relationship. Doesn't have to be family shit, right? It does feel like in order to get out of the chaos, somebody left in order for an easier life or for the calm. They probably left at night. Maybe you woke up in the morning and they were gone. Could be a friend, could be a lover. But it feels like the Lovers is a choice. It was their choice to leave. Somebody here is trying to come back to explain themselves. Ooh, and they're going to get no justice. I'm just saying. They're going to get no justice. I don't think you're having it, Capricorn. I don't think you are. We've got the Strength card. Find the courage, friend, because find the courage to hold back. I think you will, because you've done a lot of healing, Capricorn. I feel like you will find the courage to hold back here. And with the knowing that I create my own reality, this person, I'm going to say if this is a person from your childhood or if this is a person from the past, it feels like this person no longer has any dominion over you. This person has nothing to say about how your life moves along, but I do believe they're showing up because they didn't see your worth or didn't believe in you as a child, or maybe you were a person who was raising your child on your own, and that person said you're the crappiest mother or father, you're never going to be able to raise that child on your own. Somebody is showing up in your life because it's going well, because you have notoriety, because you have a good reputation, because you've made some money, because you're stabilized yourself, because you've lost 100 pounds, because it feels like somebody here is showing up because they are saying, yeah, well, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I lied. Tell me what's around the corner, please. For Capricorn, we've got the Two of Swords. We've got the Five of Wands. This is somebody that you had verbal battles with. You had verbal battles with, and I think that you cut them out of your life here, and it was heartbreaking, but you had to do it. But I think there was verbal battles going on between you and this person. The Hanged Man is here, and in the reverse. No, in the upright. Sorry, not in the reverse. I feel like you have since gotten a perspective, but I feel like you sacrificed them. I feel like you just let them go. I feel like that person is coming back. They could be years since you saw them, but look, the Five of Swords keeps telling me, oh boy, somebody was really harsh with their words during an argument or a fight. It feels like somebody moved on because of that. Six Swords, and the World is here. We've already gone through a whole life cycle since you've seen them. So it feels like somebody here was too stubborn to step forward, or it's taken them a really long time to step forward, because that's all fixed energies. Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo. We've got the Empress, who is Taurus and Libra. We've got Scorpio and Pisces, Gemini, Aries and Libra. We've got more Gemini energy with Sagittarius, Taurus energy. We've got Aquarian energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Aries and Gemini, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, more Pisces and Cancer. Strength card is Leo, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, and Leo energy. All right, Aquarius. Tell me about Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter. Give me a second here. All right. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter. Can't remember if I did this already. Not just the sun signs, right? Next 7 days. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter. Tell me about Aquarius. We've got the 5 of Wands. It's the battle here. We've got the 7 of Pentacles. We've got the Ace of Wands. So it feels like you're reassessing something. There's something here you're reassessing, but you're battling yourself with it. In the reassessment, you're going over all the details and feeling like you worked really hard on something that I feel you want to action. It feels like you want to put action behind something here because you want some sort of a victory. The King of Wands is here. I feel like you're ready to go. I'm just going to say you're ready to pursue something that you want. There is a plan in place here. 5, 6, 7 Wands means that you're ready to stand up for yourself or to put up some boundaries possibly in order to get what you want. It does feel like you've been battling yourself. 7 of Pentacles is about how much hard work you're putting in on something. Are you getting out of it what you're putting in? It feels like you work really hard, the Ace of Wands and the 7 of Pentacles, but also feels like there's a reassessment going on here. I've got a plan to get myself out of the battle. It could be a financial battle. It could be a job you don't like. Tell me about the 5 of Wands. We've got the Page of Wands. We've got the 8 of Pentacles. I think you want to start something new. It feels like you're probably in a toxic workplace or you don't like the business that you have. It feels like the devil energy is telling me that something has become tainted. Feels like it's sort of become toxic. It's become like, I think it's a micromanagement situation because we've got the 8 of Pentacles, which is all about the perfectionism. And then we have the Page of Wands. I feel like somebody is micromanaging you and it's become a toxic work environment. And it feels like with the 5 of Wands energy that you're battling yourself about the reassessment. Do I leave? Do I go? Do I action the plan that I have? Do I put action? Do I go pursue the thing that I want? It feels like the Page of Wands tells me that I feel like you're curious about what else is out there for work. You're curious about a new job. It feels like you've become I'm going to say chained to or a slave of whatever it is that you are doing. Like you don't have the option to not be perfect because somebody is there ready to crack you in the back of the head every time you're not perfect. And so I feel like you want to leave a certain place. The Wheel of Fortune, look, everything's in your favor right now. So this would be a favorable time to go. We do have the King of Cups. And we have the 9 of Cups. Just one moment, my doorbell rang here. All right, so the universe is saying it's time to action your plan. The Wheel of Fortune is here. And so it is time to move forward in a very fortunate way, by the way. But this plan that you have here, it's time to action this plan because the future awaits. We have 3 wands, right? The future is waiting for you to make the decision. There's something here that you're keeping under the surface. What you don't see maybe that's under the surface is that there is joy waiting for you. There is alignment waiting for you. There's happiness and wish fulfillment. The Wheel of Fortune is here to bring you happiness, wish fulfillment in what you want, but you have to make the decision, friend. The Wheel of Fortune is going to action it for you, is going to push you forward regardless of how you feel about movement because something's got to change and expand here. It's time for you to change and expand. It feels like this is a deeply emotional thing for you though. And I feel like what you don't see is although it's deeply emotional for you, it's going to end up in a really great place. So I feel like the future awaits you. And that's why the Wheel of Fortune is here to expand things. It is a time of destiny and it's time for things to change. But I think that this is going to be deeply emotional for you, Aquarius. And I think that you're keeping it under the surface because you don't like to be attached to your feelings. Nope, not at all. You got the 10 of Wands. So I feel like it's time for you to release a burden, an emotional burden that you've been carrying for a while. It's time for you to stop putting so much effort, time, and energy into something that is deeply toxic. It feels like the Wheel of Fortune's coming here to save you, to say, look, it's time for you to action your plan and get the hell out of there, because I feel like all it is war. It feels like there's fighting and arguments. We could be talking about a relationship. Fighting and arguments. I feel like somebody here is being very stoic, not showing their energy on the surface. I feel like there is wish fulfillment coming, but first what you've got to do is drop this stoicism bit here. I think that you need to stop carrying around emotional burdens. I don't know how you're going to get rid of it, but I think it's by actioning some sort of plan. It feels like you're fighting, staying in a place that you don't want to be in, that's deeply toxic, or has its hooks in you. Like it feels like it has its meat hooks in you here. And it has been deeply toxic for a while. Tell me what the outcome is. We've got the Seven of Swords, we've got the Ace of Pentacles, and we've got the Fool in the reverse. Look, what you don't see is that you're lying to yourself. There is a new beginning here, but you must invest in yourself. You must stop the reassessment. You've reassessed, and you've already, being in this toxic situation, toxic relationship, toxic job, whatever it is, has made you perfect at what you do. But you don't realize that there is somebody here who is micromanaging you, holding you down, telling you you're not enough, when that's not the case at all. This Ace of Pentacles is here to tell you that it's time to invest in yourself, and it may take going out in a blaze of glory. It may take you jumping off the cliff onto your head and hoping that it will work out. I'm not telling you to leave your job or your relationship, but I'm just saying that the path doesn't feel like it will be clear. The universe wants to know how much you want it. Look, sometimes when you leap off the edge, the universe says, well, are you leaping or not? Because there could or may not be a net. So I feel like the net appears when you jump, but I feel like the universe wants you to want it first. Tell me what's around the corner. Got the Empress. We've got the Chariot. This could be a person we're talking about. And we've got I'm just going to put all of these out here because they've all come out. I don't like to put blessings back. Y'all know that. We got the Two of Cups. We've got the Queen of Swords, the Four of Swords, and the Three of Cups is in the reverse. Look, I feel if this is a relationship for you here, there's somebody here and you do see their worth. You are holding your feelings underneath the surface for them. They are an Empress. So I'm going to say that might be what freaks you out. That whether this is a male or female Empress, it feels like somebody here is freaked out by the value of this person or the fact that they don't really need you. You're trying to figure out what is the purpose. If I do jump from this toxic thing that I'm doing right now, what is the purpose? What purpose do I serve in the life of the Empress? What can I add to the Empress? Because the Empress really doesn't need anything, right? It feels like somebody here is purposefully holding their feelings under the surface, but they do want to have some sort of a victory or a success with the Empress. They want to share intimacy. They want to share intimate moments. They want to deepen the bond between you and I. But it's going to take a lot of honesty. It's going to take a lot of honesty, and it's also going to take leaving where I'm no longer happy. And I feel like somebody here is finally getting the clarity that I'm no longer happy here. All we do is fight and argue. Five of Swords. All we do is fight and argue. We don't have the same, feel the same way about things, but it also does feel like this could be a job thing. Look, it feels like there's somebody here who's probably going to offer you a job that you don't see it. This is a victorious thing. This person sees your value. And I feel like you are just no longer happy with, not having fun with the place that you are, and you're going to get that clarity. The Queen of Swords is here to help you cut the ties that bind you here and to give you some sort of justice. Look, justice is showing up here. You have justice in speaking up, friends. So I feel like you have to do that before anything happens. I was just talking to another sign here about, saying, well, just give it to me because I'm manifesting it. Well, that's not the way it works. You have to put your action in too. So we have Cancer. We have Sagittarius and Pisces, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. More Cancer, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo. Look, your expansion is here, friend. Everything's about to change, and I feel like it's going to be a hard and emotional change. We do have Sagittarius here as well. We have Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, Taurus, and Virgo. We have more Aries energy. We do have Capricorn energy, Virgo, and more Cancer energy. All right, all right. Tell me about Pisces. How you doing, my friends? My two fishes friends. My water family, how are you, friends? Hope you're well. Let's find out what's going on for you, Pisces. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter for Pisces. Tell me what's going on in the next 7 days for Pisces. We've got the Three of Wands. Something's about to show up. Conversation. It feels like you're about to get some sort of message or conversation. Something is showing up for you here. I'm going to say, of course, the rote phrase, the ships are coming in. It feels like something is going to be showing up for you that's going to expand how you see everything. It's like an adventure, or something is changing things up for you, but it starts with a phone call, a communication, a conversation. It starts with an epiphany or some clarity. We have the Empress energy here. And we have the Seven of Wands. Oh boy. Listen, I feel like we're probably talking about you being the Empress. If you're not, you know, it is what it is. This could be somebody who is showing up for you. The Empress, of course, you don't just get to be an Empress because you have Libra or Taurus energy. The Empress is an earned energy, which is all about wisdom, right? All of the queens. When you learn the wisdom of the queens, you become the Empress. When you're self-sufficient, don't need it, waiting to attract it, not chasing after it. And the Ace of Swords tells me that if this is you, if you are in this Empress energy, that you already know. I feel like you already know. It feels like somebody you've either blocked out of your life or you stood up to. It feels like you are feeling that something is arriving, but you're just not quite exactly sure what that might be. Tell me more. Oh, yeah, we got 7 and 3 is 10. You're going to be able to drop a burden when this shows up here. I feel like you've either blocked this person or you stood up to them in the past and spoke your truth. I feel like you were very, very surgical with the truth, because the Empress is the Queen of Swords, right? After all, this person knows how to liberate themselves. They know how to speak their truth without being apologetic about it. We've got the Page of Cups in the reverse. So I feel like you already know that this is like, I feel like maybe you don't know who it is, what it is, or what I'm talking about, but I feel like you already have this feeling. I don't think it's going to surprise you really when it shows up, to be honest. Somebody here might give you a half-assed apology. Well, I'm sorry you feel that way. Or I know that things went down badly and I'm sorry about the way things went down. They're not going to apologize for their actions, but they're going to apologize all their way around it, right? I call it the half-ass apology. So we've got the Page of Cups in the reverse. We've got the Eight of Pentacles. This might be someone that you used to work with, or you had a partnership with, or you were building something with. Tell me more. This could be a person who, when they left your life, or when you blocked them, or they blocked you, or however it worked out, when you finally stopped carrying around the burden, I think that this person might be someone who, I'm going to say, ignited your growth. Yeah, your spiritual growth, your emotional growth, your ability to be able to speak loud and true and stand on your own 2 feet and do it all by yourself. This might be somebody that you worked with. I'm going to say this person inspired you to be the Empress, or because this person blocked you or you blocked them or something didn't work out, that's why you became the Empress. The Ace of Wands is in the reverse. Ace of Wands is in the reverse. And when it is, let's see, we've got 7, 8, 9, 10. When the Ace of Wands is in the reverse, there's no action. There's no action. I feel like if this is somebody that you did work with, it feels like once the blocks went up, or once you stood up for yourself and spoke your truth, that this person just stopped calling, stopped texting. I really feel like somebody is showing up here, though. Let's keep talking about that. You're becoming clear about some sort of work burden that you've dropped, possibly. We've got the Chariot. We've got the 9 of Pentacles. The 7 of Swords. Something was being... Oh, they already saw your worth. They knew that you were in the pre-Empress energy. It really does feel like this is somebody who you worked very closely with, who was very hard on you, or somebody who saw your worth before you saw it. I feel like you may have had feelings for this person, like emotional feelings for this person. Tell me more. 10 of Wands, yeah, we talked about it here. 10 of Wands shows up. I feel like when this Chariot rolls up for you, friend, I feel like this person is rolling up to congratulate you on your discipline. It feels like you learned how to say what you mean what you say. You've had clarity, you've had an epiphany, and you've turned into the Empress. I feel like the Chariot rolls up with the Emperor in it, because I feel like the Emperor is showing up to say, hey, good job. And you're like, I knew you were showing up here. This person's going to tell you, look, I saw your potential before you saw it. It was under the surface and you couldn't see it just yet, until you ended up by yourself, doing it by yourself and not asking anyone for help. It feels like this is it feels like somebody here is has dropped a financial burden. Somebody here has dropped the burden of moving forward. The 6 of Swords is here. It does really feel like somebody... I think that your potential to yourself was concealed. I think that you are the Empress now, but I think that your potential was concealed. And I feel like you're going to be able to drop a really, really big burden when this person shows up, because I think they're coming up to give you kudos. It's always the Emperor that's in the Chariot, and it feels like the Chariot's rolling up and saying, you made it look effortless. We've got the Ace of Pentacles. We've got the Lover's energy, and we've got the 9 of Swords. I feel like this person is agonizing over some sort of decision to want to invest in you. It feels like somebody here wants to invest in you, but they're worried that they're wondering if you have feelings still. I think this person knew you had feelings. Maybe you told them, maybe you didn't. I feel like you're going to be very honest with somebody here when they show up. The Wheel of Fortune is in the reverse, which tells me something is about to change everything. So the Wheel of Fortune being in the reverse tells me it is about to change. So if you're feeling it, I feel like if you're feeling it, you know it already. You know that something here is about to change. You don't know who it is or what it is, but something's about to change that is going to create a new chapter in your life. I'm going to say be courageous, because when the Wheel of Fortune turns upright, everything changes, because a moment of destiny is about to show up and push everything forward. It feels like this is what you've been waiting for. I want to say that it's probably been years since you saw this person, but it almost feels like, I don't think you've been waiting on kudos, because now you're self-confident. You really don't need the kudos. This person is showing up to say, see, I knew you could do it. And you're going to be like, yeah, well, it is what it is. I knew you were going to show up eventually. Like, it feels like that. So I feel like you are finding the courage to open up a new chapter with this person. And I feel like when you do, it's going to change everything. And the 4 of Wands is here. Y'all might just be going to the next level. It does feel like that there is somebody who is barreling toward you here. I feel like you might be a little bit excited when they show up, because I do feel there was feelings here, probably hidden feelings, because the King of Cups is here. I don't know if it was on their part or your part, but it feels like it's mutual. We're going to talk about it though. It's coming to the surface because the Queen of Swords is here with the Empress, and somebody here has got something to say. And I feel like you're going to stand up to this person, liberate yourself, and say, what are you doing here? I don't really need you now. I needed you back there. Where were you when I needed you? I don't need you now. And I think that this person's going to say, I knew you could do it yourself. I saw the potential in you. You just had to learn how to drop your burdens in order to be able to become the Empress. Kind of love that for you. We've got Gemini. We've got Cancer, Virgo. We've got Aries, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, Sagittarius. We've got Leo energy. and Aries. We've got Libra and Taurus, Sagittarius energy here. Virgo, Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer energy. I'm going to leave this right here. Thank you so much for being here and watching. I do appreciate you, Pisces. I'm going to go, but I'll be back, of course, because I'm always back. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.